speak on Franklin, though, Blake, I don't know if this edition is as sexy as it looks.
Let me tell you something though, very quickly. Okay. If Lane Kiffin is going after a skill player, I ain't judging it. There are certain people at certain positions. That when they coach, buddy, when it comes to defensive line, are you going to say anything to Kirby Smart, Nick Saban? When it comes to offensive line, are you going to say anything about Brian Kelly?
No.
When it comes to skill positions, I look at Zakhari Franklin in a completely different light than I did a month ago.
Well, look, I'll go as far as to say I'm not afraid to make a comment about Lane Kiffin's addition. I think this is an 800-yard receiver in the SEC. I don't think that he's going to be the same level of dominant that he was in
That's
Conference
a lot
USA.
of yards in the SEC, Joe. We only had 2 wide receivers that had 1,000 yards last year.
Fair point, but maybe 800 is a bit generous. I don't think the guy's dominant in any category. I think he's a really good G5 wide receiver. He doesn't separate. He's really lean. He's only like 185. He's probably close to 175 the way that he looks on film. I don't see a dominant football player, and he was playing in an offense that advantageously set up the receivers in the offense. Yes, he's stepping into a situation.
Lane Kiffin's doesn't.
Lane Kiffin's will. I I think this addition's fine. I think he's just going to be another player in the mix. I don't think that this will be a truly dominant addition. That I saw some people talking him up to be on Twitter.
If Lane Kiffin goes and gets a running back or receiver, I'm just going to let you know on this show or any show, I'm going to look at him in a different light, man. I just am. Okay.
But like, how good was Zach Evans? Like, Zach Evans was good, but very inconsistent.
No, but
Judkins took over, and Evans was supposed to be the prized player that they went and got.
Judkins was a 3-star.
And Zach Evans was a 5-star, and they went and added him, and Evans didn't really do anything.
That's a little bit different. Zach Evans got hurt, and Zach Evans isn't a scrub. I mean, he's not a scrub, and he didn't go out and necessarily recruit. Like, that's a little bit different, I think. Zach Evans has issues, okay?
Yeah, he had off-the-field issues.
Right, off-the-field issues. I think that's a completely different topic. Just my whole thing is can he miss it? Is Franklin going to be, are you probably right with probably the 800 yards? Yeah. But Joe, do you want Kiffin with another weapon? That comes down to the ultimate thing for me.
But it's not like they went and added Jordan Addison. They added another rotational receiver.
Yeah, but what are we?
It's not like a weapon. It's like a good player you're adding to your.
Yeah, but what are we expecting from Ole Miss? Like,
I'm expecting them to run the ball really well.
Well, are we expecting them to add a player like that? No. For them, he's a good addition.
It's a average addition, a slightly above average addition. My thought is just that on Twitter, I felt as though, and I think you could agree, coming into the second transfer portal window, they needed to add a receiver. And that was one of their weaker position groups, is the receiver position. It just seems as though it was painted that Franklin was going to take this next step because he was stepping into an SEC offense led by Lane Kiffin. I just don't believe that that's the case. I believe he's more going to be an average addition, a fine football player in the SEC, and not a statistically dominant one that was painted as such by some people out there in the college football Twitterverse.
Fair. I think that's fair.
Okay.
But if he gets 800 yards, I think it's a win.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think
it's an accomplishment.
I mean, because let me think. You know what's interesting? Outside of Addison, has there been a transfer wide receiver that's done a lot of damage?
I'd have to think.
Jameson Williams did some serious shit.
Yeah, okay. That's the perfect example. A lot of these kids usually do declare.
Yeah, wide receivers declare early, bro.
They declare very early.
You know what you do know the lowest age range per position in the NFL is? It's running back number 1 and wide receiver number 2.
Yeah. Yeah, very frequently it's underclassmen.
Yeah, because there's more wide receivers and running backs than there are 6'6", 317-pound left tackles.
Yes.
Named Joe Thomas.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, what are you going to do when Brian Kelly starts recruiting those type of kids? to LSU, who, by the way, just constantly produces Jamar Chases everywhere.
I'd like to. Were you talking about receivers, or are you talking about tackles?
Well, I'm just saying. I mean, because LSU's already getting those type of receivers and DBs because they're locking the state down. Which, by the way, just throwing this out there while we leave here. Did you know the last time that LSU had this many players in state commit to LSU? There was a guy by the name of Nick Saban that did it in 2001. I thought Brian Kelly couldn't recruit. I thought Louisiana and the South was going to be an issue for him.
I've never said that he can't recruit. I've never said that on this program.
Funny what happens when everybody says it's the coach and then he's still out recruiting you.
Again, I've never disputed that statement.
This isn't a shot at you. This is a shot at a guy that has a beard and has a butt chin and wears glasses. I mean, the chances of him blowing his nose and wiping his ass at the same time is 100%. I'm never going to forget that. I'm never going to forget that.
Yeah, it was
or forgive.
Yeah, it's a terrible take. It's a bad take.
It's not about the take. It's about him calling me a clown. I said, Bud, you have no idea. Basically how it started, and paraphrasing. He was like, Bud, you have no idea what you're talking about. 3 coaches and 1 national titles. And he said, look, clown. Well, first off, I'll slap the shit out of anybody that calls me a clown. Just throwing that out there.
Completely unjustified, unwarranted, ridiculous.
A damn beast media says dogs have entered the chat. Good evening, all. Just saw live and jumping in here to check some things out. We'll go back to the beginning of the show. Thank you, damn best media. By the way, dogs, just letting you know, if you want to, we're wrapping it up here. We're talking about Wes Johnson, your new baseball coach on AYS, who left. Hey, let me tell you something, Joe. Georgia's getting a little serious about other sports. How you can't be romantic about other sports, mainly baseball.
It's a first for Georgia because I feel like they
sink in everything else.
Yes.
All right. We're out of here, guys. We'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Peace.